There. Yay! Love it. Been struggling with anxiety all my life. I know some of you out there need to hear this. Sometimes I just want to lay down, stare at the ceiling. I would be okay. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. Good morning! Welcome to this new video. I hope you are doing fine. Good morning! Today I'm coming to you with the content that is really dear to my heart. Because I've been struggling with anxiety basically all my life, I really want to share a few things that really made a difference for me in my daily life. So grab a drink, get yourself comfortable, and let's chat. A few disclaimers. First, I'm not a professional at all, it's just my personal experience, so always do things that works for you, everybody's different. And second disclaimer, I won't go over the basics of sleeping enough and at a regular time, eating well, drinking enough water, and exercising, moving your body daily, avoiding phone in the first hour of waking up. All those things are basic and really heard a lot in many videos about anxiety. They do work and they are the basis. The first part of this video is going to be more about maybe tips you've already heard, but I feel like in my life I've really improved my mental health and anxiety management. So if you're already well documented on the subject of anxiety, you may have already heard about those tips. So feel free to jump right to the second part of this video, which are a few more tips that I've rarely heard talked about in those videos. I'll put the timestamps of the chapters down below, so feel free to navigate in this video. Let's jump in. Kind of go on chronological order in my day. The first thing I'm usually doing is stretching up my body right when I wake up. It signals gently to my body that it's time to start waking up and processing things. I also think it helps with my digestion for my breakfast in the morning, to be a little bit more woken up before eating. It also helps me really drop into my body and connect with it, because sometimes if we wake up and go right away, I tend to kind of feel disconnected throughout the day. So I really want to take a moment to wake up my body gently and connect with it. Gently stretching also helps release the tension that could have built up during the night. The second thing is breath work. It's also something that's been overly talked about, so I will be quick about it. Breathing deeply and consciously really reduces the stress and panic we can feel sometimes. So during my stretches, I will really focus on the breath and a deep belly breath. That really allows my body to feel safe first thing in the morning. Also, a simple breathing exercise you can do when you're feeling a little bit panicky or a rush of anxiety is the box breathing. It's really simple. You just count 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of a box, and it just forces you to focus on your breath and your body. There's many other breathing exercises that you can find. I really invite you to look a little bit deeper into it. The third thing that I've been implementing lately is reprogramming my mind, because I can see that sometimes my mind just goes crazy and starts thinking all these crazy things about my life or my future, which are usually not true at all. What I like to do is journal in the form of manifestation. I will just write how I want to be feeling and what I want to bring to me, but I write it as if I was already living it. It kind of tricks your mind to think that you are in that state, and we all know that the mind is a powerful tool. It can really bring you down, but if it can bring you that far down, it can also bring you really high. So I think that's something to keep in mind when you're feeling your mind just crumbling you down. You know that this power is equivalent to the power of pushing you up. A quick example of how I do that is just by writing short sentences of how I want to feel, but in the present tense. So I would say things like, today my mind is present and calm, my mood is light and with a childlike fun, I feel whole and complete, money is flowing, and I get to choose who I work with. I live abundantly and fully, and I'm so excited about everything I get to create. Food is how I show love to myself, and it fuels me. Every breath of fresh air, ray of sunshine, flower on the side of the road, smile from the love of my life is a hug to my heart, and I'm so blessed to live this life. And that's really just an example of what you can attract. You can basically attract anything, and I'm a big believer in that. It may or may not talk to you, but sometimes what I tell myself is that even if it doesn't work and manifestation isn't real and anything, isn't that more pleasant to do than just having all these negative thoughts and just tearing yourself down? I think it's a little bit more fun to do it that way. Another thing I do to reprogram my mind is being really careful with my media intake. I'm really picky with the social media I follow, and I'm constantly cleaning my For You page and unsubscribing to things that no more align with who I want to be. I stop watching the news altogether, and I think sometimes they say you have to be informed, but sometimes it's a little bit too much, and for those anxious girly out there, I feel like you don't have to consume everything. I also tried not watching very stressful movies right before bed or stuff like that. Really helps too. So yeah, being really mindful of what I put into my brain, just like what I put into my belly. The fourth thing is a really basic one, but I feel like it needs to be said again. I won't drink coffee until like 11 p.m, noon almost, especially on an empty stomach, because it can really increase your anxiety and give you the jitters and stuff like that. So it's really not good. Also for your hormones and cortisol level, a bunch of things, but basically I stopped drinking coffee first thing in the morning. The last one of this first part on the more mainstream things is going on a walk or doing low impact cardio. Walking, dancing, biking, roller skating keeps my body moving without overstressing it. Also, it's really well known that being in motion helps you process anxious emotions. Sometimes I will just feel this anxious energy rising up inside me, and I just stand up and shake or jump up and down or dance a little bit, just moving my body and moving this energy around. Sometimes when I feel anxious, I tend to tense, lock myself down and don't move at all, which is the worst. So just forcing yourself to stand up, take a few steps around the house and move. Just think about throwing out this anxious feeling. Now for this second part, those are the things that helped me the most, and it's really something that I kind of discovered by myself, just living through it and finding that it helps. The first thing is using my senses to be present. That's something that I have really implemented in my daily life, because I feel like the way I perceive the world with my senses, my touch, my taste, how I see things, hear things, really anchors me down into my body, into this earth, and really brings me back to what I'm doing at the exact moment. So you're washing the dishes, maybe focus on the water flowing over your hands. If you're on the walk, maybe focus on the flowers that you can see, the specific poster signs, anything that you can see with beautiful colors or stuff like that. Even in busy environment and busy cities, for example, you can focus your earrings on what you hear around you. I'm really lucky to be living close to nature, so that's something that I love doing. And also, I feel like I'm really sensitive when it comes to my senses, so it also helps me really come back. If I just got lost around in my head, it brings me back up, or it prevents me from going away. One grounding technique that I heard about If you're feeling really anxious and maybe the panic is coming, you can try to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, and basically just naming 5 things you see around you, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And that's gonna really bring you down. I feel like it's a really concrete and practical and easy way to just bring your awareness back to your body and your surrounding. The second thing is doing manual work. It can be specific to me, but maybe it could work to you. I feel like when I'm doing DIYs, art, cleaning my space, it just brings me to what I'm doing using my hands. It really brings my focus on something more physical than my anxiety. Plus, doing things like arts and building stuff really can give you sometimes a sense of control that you kind of lose with anxiety. It's manual work for me, but maybe for you it can be anything else. It can be music, it can be movies, it can be anything you can be doing with your body, like dancing or whatever speaks to you and whatever brings your full attention to the activity you're doing. And that's something you can find just by experimenting in life, really, and finding out what you like best. The third thing is really a point of tension for me because it's the hardest to be consistent at. It is avoiding high dopamine activities, especially in the morning. Instant dopamine spikes while scrolling through social media, playing video games, eating very sugary and processed food will then lead to dopamine crashes, more anxiety, and overall restlessness. There is a thing with social media and video games that are just constantly pleasuring our brain. Maybe that's not the right way to say it, but just overstimulate the brain with quick reward, so it's easy dopamine, it's quick dopamine. Then you tend to find external thing and slower dopamine activities kind of boring, to be honest. And your brain also produces less dopamine when it has great spikes. I kind of stopped scrolling through social media in the morning, but to be honest, I'm still kind of addicted to video games and especially sorry, boo-boo. And especially anxiety-inducing ones. So that's still something I'm struggling with. And regarding sugary and processed food, it causes really high blood sugar spikes and then causes crashes, which leads to irritability and fatigue, which in my case trigger a lot more my anxiety. So, plus the first dopamine source you're taking in is usually what your body will go back to throughout the whole day. So if you start by making your bed, cleaning up your space, drinking water, all those mundane tasks that still gives you dopamine will be the ones you'll go back to during your day, so being a little bit more productive instead of going straight to your phone to scroll for endless hours. So to sum it up, I would really encourage you to avoid high dopamine activities first thing in the morning, keep them more for afternoon activities, and also try to partake a little bit more in world activities and slower dopamine activities. The next one, and I know some of you out there need to hear this, it's minding my business. And oh my god, that's such a big one. It means staying out of drama, gossips, not caring about what other people have to say about me. I'm really trying to be in my zone. I don't want none of that. Please don't come and tell me about this awful thing that happened to Janine. I don't want to know. I don't even really know Janine. So, and it goes along with social media when I kind of force myself to just scroll past all the videos about gossip, drama, and anything like that. I'm really protecting my peace and my energy. So even with the people that I see, I'm really sensitive to energy. And if I'm having a contact with someone that is anxious, I really just go right through it and it kind of messed me up for the rest of the day. So I try to, as much as possible, protect my peace, and if I can't, I'm just going to focus on my senses again and breathe through it. The fifth one is slowing down, physically and in life. The quickest way to regulate your nervous system is by slowing down your breath, your movements, your body. So if you're doing something really quick and you're just rushing through it, maybe just take a second, drop your shoulder and clench your jaw and just breathe through it. Going a little bit slower, washing your teeth, washing the dishes, cleaning. We are all late to somewhere someday, so that's okay. But sometimes we be rushing for no reason. Really. Like, I don't have to chop those carrots in 2-minute stops. No. I just can take my time with it, enjoy the process, connect to my senses, connect to my breath, just slow down. And it also goes for life. There are rarely a deadline that will kill me if I don't do it right away. So maybe sometime just take an hour off, especially when you're trying to build something career-wise or personal-wise. Just sometimes take a break, relax, enjoy the process, enjoy the people around you. We tend to neglect that too. So I constantly remind myself that I don't have to be super productive all the time, every day, all day. It just isn't sustainable. So sometimes I just want to lay down, stare at the ceiling for like an hour and listen to my own breath. I actually love doing that, so I'm gonna do it. The next one I feel like might not be for everyone. Me personally, I feel like thinking about death has really helped me. Hear me out. If you are death-oriented anxious, this will not work for you. I know people with anxiety that is really crystallized around death and losing people you love and stuff like that. I really get it. It's not my case. My anxiety is more of a overall one, so it's fine. But just keep this part if you're easily triggered by death. So let me explain. Thinking about death sometimes bring me this comforting feeling that nothing really matters. We are all going in the same place in the end. It emphasizes the importance of enjoying every bit of it and focusing on the process. For me, it really always comes down to we are a particle of dust on a big ass rock. What the hell, man? You know, it's not that deep. Nothing is that serious. Sometimes it really puts things back in perspective and really brings me back into my place. And if you struggle with it on a more practical basis, when you're having an episode or anytime really, just ask yourself, is this what I'm anxious about or what I'm going through right now? It is going to matter in 10 minutes, in 10 days, and in 10 years. Because often it really doesn't matter. And when you think about it, and when you think about stuff you were really anxious about a few years ago, they're sometimes, and most of the time, completely gone. Unless it's health related or really the basic needs of having a roof over your head and food in your belly, nothing else is really that serious. It might feel like it right now, but in a few years it won't be anymore, I promise you. So yeah, death. Yay, love that. This last one might sound a little woo-woo hippie stuff, but it's also kind of not. Is just convincing yourself that anything you have is all that you need and everything you need you already have. So, once again, I am not talking about basic needs like house and food. Everybody should have that. I really try to convince myself that I have everything, and plus I am really blessed to have the life that I have. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have the basic necessities, so I'm really aware of that and really feeling deep down in my core that if I would never get anything more than that, I would be okay. I would still live, I would still be happy, and that's something that you really need to try to incorporate in your cell, in your mind, in your body, and just feel it, really feel it. Because then you're opening yourself to what you need in life. So if it's money, it's gonna come to you. If it's love, it's gonna come to you. If it's friendship, if it's care in any way, everything's gonna come to you once you've once you've already convinced yourself that you have enough and you're happy with what you have and what is for you is coming your way. I hope this video helped you in any way. Even if it's one thing, it's already great. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips you can share with us. Maybe we can help each other. It would be amazing because everybody has unique ways of coping with anxiety, so I'm really curious about your ways. If it helped you, maybe consider subscribing, liking this video and sharing. I'm really grateful for all of you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching. Bye!